recapping NFL Week 1 through a fantasy football lens. Going to run through all the games, going to give my takes on the players, talk about the past week, any interesting trade targets, all that. Thank you guys for being here. Like, subscribe, join the Discord. The link is below. So in the future, might have a guest for this, but we're just going to do it solo. In the beginning of the year, we're definitely going to be running through things like snap counts, routes run, things like that. Later in the year, we'll probably just get to the top scorers in the fantasy at each position and talk about that. We'll be live for the next hour or so. So kicking it off with the Eagles versus the Cowboys all the way back on Thursday night. That game ended up with the Eagles prevailing in the score of 24-20. Let me share my screen. We're going to use PFF, Nathan Yankees articles for the snap counts because they're free. So let's get to it. Maybe I'll make this a little bigger for you guys. On the Cowboy side, some raw stats for you guys. Dak had a bad day fantasy-wise, but looked good. 188 yards passing, no touchdowns. Javonte Williams, 54 rushing yards, 15 carries. Only 3.6 yards per carry, 2 touchdowns. You know, he did run, as we see here, 27 routes. Way outsnapped Miles Sanders. So, I mean, looks like nothing's stopping him from being a fantasy win. We'll have to see what his efficiency is later in the year. You know, week 1, these older guys, they should be at their best. I still think there's risk here. The Cowboys trade for Breece Hall. Obviously, Tank Bigsby, Travis Etienne, that's off the table now. Jaden Blue was inactive for this game. Miles Sanders fumbles, so certainly think that could change in the future. Javonte did punch in 2 touchdowns, maybe skewing his yards per carry there. Miles Sanders was run down by Zach Braun, not a fast linebacker. Could have scored a touchdown there. Then he fumbled. CeeDee Lamb, an awesome day. Definitely going to be live for wide receiver 1 if this continues. 13 targets. 7 receptions, 110 yards. Did have several drops. Jake Ferguson was targeted on like a bunch of deep shots. Could have had a touchdown. George Pickens, man, I think this is worrying. Like, is he still going to have some big weeks in best ball land? Yes, for sure. But he's not given effort on the Ferguson drop touchdown where he got lit up by the safety. Well, the safety kind of knew he didn't need to cover Pickens because Pickens was jogging his route. Like, that's just not going to cut it. You're a professional. Be a professional. Kevontae Turpin, Jalen Tolbert. I was interested. Who do we prefer here? Seems kind of similar right now. 17, 18 routes. So both of them, they could have a best ball week. Maybe Turpin gets more carries if Javonte wears down. Hunter Lupi, he's like the fullback. He got in there a little bit. On the Eagles side, Hurts had a good day. Not a great day passing, 152 yards, but 2 rushing touchdowns, 60 rushing yards. He looked fast. Pretty much was just A.J. Brown, Devonta Goddard, and then John Dotson running like wind sprints. A.J. Brown seems like he still has a hurt hamstring, so I would say he's like a trade for guy, but who knows which week he's going to be the A.J. Brown we know. And, of course, there's going to be risk that, you know, he's a better in best ball guy. Saquon, not an efficient day on the ground. 3.3 yards per carry. This was like kind of league-wide. A bunch of running backs were inefficient. 18 carries, 60 yards, a touchdown. Did chip in 4 catches for 24 yards. Noteworthy is Will Shipley got in there from the jump, meaning drive 1, got in there, looked good, was getting targets, got some carries, then hurts his ribs on kickoff, and they trade for Tank Bigsby last night. So I don't know. Clearly, it's not a vote of confidence for A.J. Dillon that they trade for Tank Bigsby. They're saying that has nothing to do with Shipley's ribs. I don't believe that. I don't believe that for one bit. I don't think Shipley's going to be out for the whole year, but could be 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Ribs, typically like a month injury. So that's the Eagles. Nothing crazy on the route run department here. Ferguson, going to be a solid tight end. Goddard, going to be a solid tight end. Goddard, especially 7 targets. We'll have to see. Maybe this has to do with Smith dealing with a back injury, A.J. Brown dealing with a hamstring injury, or what. No one else really, I don't think you want A.J. Dillon. I'm still going to be holding Shipley and manage, but I want to get info there. Moving on. We're just going to run through all these Sunday games. Oh, no, actually, we had a Friday night game first, which was the Chargers defeating the Chiefs. Big takeaway here is that, man, Justin Herbert, he is a top, I would say top 5 easily, but maybe it's top 6 with Jaden Daniels. He's elite. He is elite. I've said, something I said all off season is he had a hurt foot last year. Athletically, he's like the same thing as Josh Allen. He's a little taller, not as explosive. But yeah, he used his legs. He, let's see, PFF had him for 3 carries. Box score has him for 7 carries, so I guess they're not counting scrambles maybe. 7 carries, 32 yards. That's half a touchdown, Chargers came out throwing. Probably has to do with the Chiefs' run defense. But yeah, I don't think the Chargers coaches are just like boomer forever. So pretty awesome for Herbert. Definitely seems like a league winner at quarterback. The Justin Fields, the Daniel Jones, these guys are going to get rushing touchdowns more often. But Herbert's just better, right? Like he's like a better guy who easily could be a top advanced rate quarterback. He did end up throwing 3 touchdowns as well. Threw 1 to Keenan and 2 to Quentin Johnston. Let's look at the rookies here. KLS and Trey Harris didn't get in there a lot. 7 routes for KLS, 8 routes for Trey Harris, the second round pick, 1 target each. Not surprising to me, week 1 against a division opponent, that we're not going to see a lot of the rookies. I do think, Quentin Johnston, he looked fine out there, maybe even good. 7 targets. I do think Ladd McConkey looks easily elite. And if we start giving more defensive attention to guys like QJ and Keenan, that should be good for Ladd. I do think if one of these guys is going to get squeezed for routes later in the year for the rookies, it's probably QJ, right? Like he did drop a touchdown. He might not be that good. We'll see though. Like maybe he's turned the corner. Maybe this is like year 3 QJ, obviously a former first round pick. Or maybe in December, we're like, it's KLS, it's Trey Harris. You don't really take a second round wide receiver to play him 5 routes for the rest of the year, Tight ends were a mess for the Chargers. Conklin ran 12, Disley 21. Both these guys got barely any targets. They're going to have touchdown upside, though, so in best ball, we're cool with it. Hampton dwarfed Najee in snaps and targets. Maybe this changes as Najee gets more healthy from whatever his injury was to his eye, or maybe it remains consistent. I would want to be buying low on Hampton if anyone's panicking there. He had an inefficient day, 15 carries, 48 yards. Did get 2 catches, though, for 13 yards. Chiefs side is also a mess because the Chiefs, first off, they look terrible. Now, you could say they look terrible, but they were in it to win the game. Kelsey, he's pretty high on Cook watch. He might just be washed, right? He did end up scoring a touchdown, 2 catches, 47 yards, a touchdown. Seemed like he was just not covered on that to me. So I think there's risk that it's just over for him because in a game without Rashee Rice, in a game where Travis Kelce took out Xavier Worthy at the top of the game, you can only get 3 targets. I understand Derwin James is over there on the Chargers, but this is rough, folks. We don't like that Kelce could not do that much, and Hollywood Brown is getting 10 targets for 99 yards. Hollywood did not look particularly great, but it will not matter if you're going to be getting 14 targets a game. Taekwon kind of took some of the deep shots they would take to Worthy. Juju got in there a little bit. I mean, the running back room is also kind of a mess for the Chiefs. Pacheco did not look good and more importantly, did not play enough snaps. 5 carries, 25 yards. Okay, 5 yards a carry. 2 catches, 3 yards. Hunt got 2 catches, 3 yards. Hunt got 5 catches, 16 yards. Brashard Smith, a 7th-round pick, playing 8 snaps is like notable that he's getting in there at all. I think he's a hold and manage, a pick up and manage, and wait to see what happens here. Maybe Pacheco gets more work as the season goes. I don't know, but and we have to wait and see on Worthy whether he's actually he might be out for the season. He might be fine. Trade away Brees and Ibuka for Bowers and Ken Walker. 1 QB, 2 RB, 2 wide receivers, 1 flex. I would say no. Unless, because Ken Walker is not a good pick right now. We're going to get to that game. And Ibuka and Brees are. I tend to think Ibuka is a sell high and managed, despite me liking him. But yeah, to go from Brees down to Tootin, Pacheco, and Sampson, no, that would be disastrous for you. So I don't think, and Bowers might be hurt. So I would say definitely no, Brandon. Do not make that trade. Yeah, people are saying Najee's in a snap count. Chiefs to miss the playoff, unlikely, but okay, let's get to the week 1 games. The first one on the docket is Tampa Falcons. Tampa survived this one due to a missed kick. Ibuka, could be a stud, could be a sell high. 36 routes run, 6 targets. Did end the day with a nice box score. That would be 4 catches, 67 yards, 2 touchdowns. Now, 6 targets, 4 catches, that's not good, but it's his first game as a rookie. He was calling his shot. The 3rd wide receiver right now is Sterling Shepard, which is kind of good news. Mike Evans, he ran the most routes too, 36 routes. Mike Evans got in there, 33 routes, didn't have a huge day, 5 for 51. Better days will be there. Cade Otton seems healthy to me. 31 routes, got nothing going in fantasy, but yeah, 31 routes, he's going to have some good games there. And then the big one here is that Bucky Irving has basically supplanted Rachaad White for the routes run, which is huge for Irving. Right? He's got the snaps, he's got the carries, and then he's got 21 routes to Rachaad White's 8. Rachaad White did have a hurt groin in the offseason, so there's some chance White gets more there, but that would be huge for Irving's fantasy value. He didn't have a huge box score, but he's like a clear trade for guy if your league mates don't understand that. Yeah, box score wise, no one had really a great day except Ibuka, 2 touchdowns, Bucky, a reception touchdown. So Baker threw 3 touchdowns, only 167 passing yards. So it's like, eh. Penix looked pretty good to me, man. 300 passing yards, a touchdown. Bijan, 12 carries, 24 yards. That's 2 yards a carry, folks. That is bad. Tyler Algier, 10 carries, 24 yards. So Bijan and Algier are pretty much sharing the carries here. PFF has it as 12 and 10. Yeah, that's kind of rough for the guy who most had second in fantasy. Michael Penix did have 6 carries for 21 yards. That's pretty big as well. He's a fast guy. However, Bijan did have 6 catches for 100 yards and a touchdown. He opened the game with a 50-yard touchdown. That's not going to be sustainable. But yeah, getting 7 targets is going to keep you afloat. And looks like they're going to, the Bucs have an awesome run defender, Vita Vea. So maybe that's what happened here. London, 14 targets, did get banged up. So we'll have to see what happens there. Casey Washington with Darnell Mooney ruled out before this game was the guy who picked up the routes there. Raven McLeod, only 3 targets, kind of eh. And then Kyle Pitts, man. Kyle Pitts might be back. He looked pretty good to me. 8 targets, 39 routes. Penix likes him. London might be banged up. Got injured late in the game. Mooney We don't know when are we going to get Mooney week 2? Are we going to get Mooney week 3? So Kyle Pitts, 59 snaps, 39 routes, tied for second on the team. Pretty fun there. Bijan running pretty much all the routes. Yeah. So it should be better days ahead for the Falcons as far as winning games. Moving on. Bengals and Browns. I mean, my takeaway here is the Bengals survived a game. Now, the Browns defense, pretty legit. Not too many fantasy surprises here on the Bengals. I guess the tight ends. Andre Yoshivas, the clear wide receiver 3, 20 routes, no targets. Chase and T, bad days in the office. That's going to happen when Joe Burrow only throws for 113 yards and 1 touchdown. The tight ends, man. Drew Sample, blocking tight end, 12 routes. Noah Fant. People made fun of me for Noah Fant. 26 snaps, 14 routes, 5 targets. Mike Gesicki, he got hurt in the preseason. 11 routes, 3 targets, so that could go up. And then the big one here is 21 carries for Chase Brown, nothing for anyone else. He's basically like the Bengals' James Cook, where Samaje Perine is going to play. He's going to play third downs. He's going to run routes there. He's going to pass protect, but that doesn't really matter when you get all the carries and all the targets on first and second down. And so Brown looks awesome, a clear buy low if you can. 21 carries, 43 yards. Again, not efficient, 2 yards a carry. Don't know what's going on there where the whole NFL was bad at running the ball. Week 1, maybe the O-line took it off. Noah Fant, the only passing touchdown, hilarious. Brown side, arguably more interesting. Huge day for Cedric Tillman, one of my highest drafted players. I mean, this guy was just electric last year. He just wasn't healthy. And who knows how long we're going to get Joe Flacco. But, oh yeah, Taj Brooks, guys, he didn't play. So he's probably the like Ray Davis to Chase Brown, where if Chase Brown got hurt, it would be Taj Brooks on first and second, not Perine. So I still would prefer Brooks over Brown. Tillman, huge day. Might just straight up be better than Jerry Jeudy. 46 routes for both of them, 8 targets for both of them. Tillman is the one, though, who goes 5 for 52 and a touchdown. Jeudy, 5 for 66, no touchdown. Big story here is probably Harold Fannin, a guy I got onto after he got rested in the preseason. So I have more in like PPR sites. 31 routes for a third-round rookie, 9 targets. Turned it into 7 for 63. So, yeah, he's like a clear Tillman and Fannin could be out there on waivers. They're clear guys that you want to go get. They're worth it. Isaiah Bond might just be wide receiver 3 from the jump. You know, he got signed late with this DV case. He played with Matthew Golden in college. David Njoku, he is a buy low if people are overreacting to his bad day in fantasy. Only went 3 for 37, but 64 snaps, 41 routes, 5 targets. Do think he could be traded at the trade deadline. Do we see David Njoku on the Chiefs if Travis Kelce truly is washed? I think this is in the range of outcomes. Ford outsnaps Sampson. Ford runs more routes. However, Sampson gets 8 targets and 12 carries. I think what happened here is Sampson, like they started the game even, and then in the second half, they're like, screw it, it's Sampson. So Sampson's a clear, I'd rather have Sampson than Ford and manage. The fly in the ointment is Judkins. Does seem like Sampson would be the pass catching back. He turned it into 12 for 29, inefficient. He did, though, have 8 for 64 in the air. Awesome. And the rub in the ointment is Raheem Sanders scored the goal line touchdown after Ford failed there. So Sampson, Fannin, they played the rookies right away. You could start Joe Flacco in a pinch, 290 passing yards. And yeah, the Bengals got kind of lucky here to win, which again, Joe Burrow hasn't had good games against the Browns in the past. Okay, moving on. Dolphins at Colts, man. I'm not ready to call it over for the Dolphins, but it was bad. Week 2, the Dolphins get the Patriots. Like, if they get blown out, I don't know what to say. It's 33-8 in this game. Tyreek freaking out on the sideline. He could be traded. Could end up on the 49ers. Could end up on the Chiefs. Mike McDaniel could be fired. We probably should have pulled the plug on Mike McDaniel when he's vaping during the playoff game against the Bills. HAN, 21 routes, 7 carries, 4 targets. Did score touchdown late, salvaging his day. Turned it into 3 for 20 in the air and a touchdown, 7 for 55. So he's kind of fantasy proof, even with them being bad. Ollie Gordon, only 2 carries. That should go up over time. No tight end worth holding with Darren Waller not playing. And maybe even if he does, Malik Washington leads the team in routes. So I do think Malik Washington is a sneaky hold and managed. 26 routes, 5 targets. Only turned it into 2 catches for 20 yards. But again, the Tyreek Hill stuff, he could be out of here. But we might just not want any Dolphin, is the truth. Colts. Big, really it was like a big opening drive for Tyler Warren. And then from there, maybe the Dolphins, the Dolphins secondary is bad. Like everything's bad. So we're running through the games, Mo, and then if we have time, we'll look at Eliminator. I advanced 89 out of 150 in Eliminator currently. But the Tyler Warren, he had a great opening drive. Had a good day in fantasy, 7 for 66. Michael Pittman after the game said, he could have had way more. We just distributed the ball. So we'll have to see there. Still think he could be a better in a PPR site, a tight end premium site. I drafted almost none on Underdog. Actually, I drafted 0 in BBM, which could be a miss by me. I did try to get him in our tight end premium league with Ron and Jacob because I thought if he wasn't going to be a hit, it would be via receptions. He looked good, obviously. 53 snaps from him, 24 routes, 9 targets, 29 routes, 27 routes for Pittman and Pierce. Downs is the big loser here. 17 routes. Downs over the Bills guys. That's a big miss by the market. You would obviously rather have Keeler Coleman than Josh Downs right now. 8 targets for Pittman, 9 for Warren. JT played pretty much all the snaps, 52 snaps, 24 routes, 18 carries. DJ Giddens got 12 carries, but I think this came in like blowout fashion. So JT didn't have a huge fantasy day. He did get 3 catches, which is kind of notable. The big rub in the ointment here, though, folks, is like, are we getting Daniel Jones for 17 games? Are we getting Daniel Jones for 10 games? What's the deal there? Because obviously, if you go from Jones to Richardson, that is a disaster for the pass catchers. JT still should be fine, but that would be bad. Daniel Jones, a clear startable guy in fantasy. Have some in the eliminator. But yeah, how long he plays is a question. Maybe the Colts are good. Colts, Jags, they played such bad teams, man. We got to see more there. Panthers, Jags. This is a screwy game. There was weather. The Panthers were so bad. So the big one I'm curious on, we're just going to start on the Jags, is Travis Etienne. So Tank Bigsby gets traded. Played 14 snaps in the game, had 5 carries. Tootin and LaQuint Allen didn't play that much. But now with Tank out of there, the runway is cleared. Travis Etienne had a big day, 16 for 143. He had like a huge run, though. And again, the Panthers, they were so bad on defense last year. They were bad again. They were bad on offense. This game was 26-10. Pure blowout. Etienne also had 3 catches for 13 yards. The rookies didn't do much, but I think Tootin is the clear RB2 you want to have here. And yeah, we got to see with with Etienne. We don't play for September in fantasy football. So, Royals could for sure, once healthy, get out there with how bad that wide receiver room is. But yes, Etienne, let's see how he looks 5 weeks from now. He did get hurt last year, which probably is why he was inefficient. So maybe he's the Josh Jacobs win, where he's like the clear best pick in fantasy. Or maybe we're like, remember week 1 where people were like jazzed about Travis Etienne? Did have 9 yards per carry. Again, he had like 2 huge long runs. So wait to see more there. Brian Thomas, I'm not worried. Trevor missed him on several passes. Had a bad day in fantasy, but yeah, wouldn't be worried there. Travis Hunter didn't have a huge day in fantasy either, But 27 routes, 8 targets, pretty strong usage, better days ahead there. Diami Brown, he's fine in best ball. And Brenton Strange. Brenton Strange, definitely a quasi-startable guy and managed at tight end. 4 catches, 60 yards. Panthers sucked. Chuba had a good game, but looking at the usage here, 43 snaps for Chuba, 22 for Rico, 19 routes for Chuba, 13 for Rico, 4 targets versus 3. Chuba got all the groundwork, but Rico is playing a lot. Those were probably on third down, if I had to guess. Bryce Young did chip in 40 yards on the ground, so that's going to help. But, man, 154 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. This is not a good defense. People are saying route participation on Strange. I think it's fine. 23 routes, 27, 28, 33. It's not wildly different. 23 routes for him, 8 for the other guys. Like, okay, he's not playing all the routes. We're primarily talking about best ball here. Who cares, right? Jatavian Sanders, clear snap lead at tight end here. Renfro was on the field a lot. Not a good day for them. So Chuba might be a sell high if you can. Tet had 5 for 68. Yeah, it's just, guys, the touchdowns might not be there for Tet. So we'll have to see. Should be a better day for Bryce Young and the Panthers. Hard to be worse, but yeah, it's just 5 for 68 doesn't pay for the Bills. Doesn't pay the Bills in half-point PPR land, Well, yeah, Hunter Long scored a touchdown. Like, that stuff's random, right? We're trying to filter out noise here. Moving on. Raiders at Patriots. Certainly not good for the Patriots. They lose 20-13. People might have been overhyping Drake May when guys like Justin Herbert were available, Justin Fields were available. We'll start over there. I just think Mike Vrabel is a great motivator of men. I think he's an overrated coach and he makes bad decisions for winning football games. He had a brutal punt late in the game and they lost by a touchdown. Looking at the Patriots, May had 300 yards passing, a touchdown. Concerning, though, 4 carries, 11 yards. So we didn't see the running, which is what people were drafting him for. TreVeyon Henderson only getting 25 snaps, only 18 routes. Did get 6 targets, so strong targets per out run there. 5 carries. You would assume the Henderson stuff goes up over time. You're probably going to be a league winner closer to midseason. Ramondre played a lot of snaps, 23 routes, 3 targets, 7 carries. 5 carries, 27 yards. 7 carries for 15 yards. So brutally inefficient, but he'll probably be like the David Montgomery, get some goal line stuff. Maybe we don't get the full Henderson this year. I would think we would, though. Again, Henderson had 6 for 24 in the air. That will help. Hunter Henry, full snaps. Like the wide receiver stuff is not that surprising. What is a little surprising maybe is that Diggs was not on the field a ton for a losing game. Pretty much the same as Mac Hollins. He is running routes, though. He is getting targets. He did have a fine day, 6 for 57, but you would assume that his stuff goes up over time with him coming off the ACL. Encouraging that he's out there at all, honestly. Pop Douglas scores the touchdown. Only had, though... Yeah, it's a crazy stat line for him. 2 catches, -2 yards, a touchdown. Again, I'll repeat that. 2 catches for Tamario Douglas, -1 yard, a touchdown. Kayshon Boutte, 6 catches, 103 yards, 44 routes, 8 targets. So he's like also a waiver darling. I still think we want to see how good Boutte is. Kyle Williams barely played at all. People were taking him in like the 9th round at times this year. That was insane. So maybe Boutte never loses the job. Maybe he's a big miss by the fantasy community. Or maybe Kyle Williams gets more as the season goes. Kyle Williams is like droppable and managed. You would clearly prefer Boutte right now, right? Raiders, kind of a big story here is that Brock Bowers not playing all that many snaps. This kind of changed in the second half. He did get 26 routes, 8 targets, so that would be fine. He did get hurt. Think he's going to be fine, but we have to see. Pretty big day, 5 catches, 103 yards. Jacoby Myers, 10 targets, tied for the team lead in routes run with Trey Tucker, 8 for 97. Trey Tucker scored a long touchdown, out-routed Deontay Thornton, which is maybe surprising because that's not how he drafted it, but would expect Thornton to go up over time. Jack Beck, only 4 snaps. That's kind of what we were expecting. He did get a catch, though, so maybe he gets more. He's like a weird football player, man. He's like kind of big. He's not that fast. I'm like, what is this guy doing out there? Michael Mayer played a lot, which we don't love. And then kind of a big story, Raheem Mostert was inactive. So Zamir White is the clear RB2 to have if Gene T were to get hurt. Speaking of Gene T, played a bunch of snaps, 22 routes, 19 carries. 19 carries, 38 yards, a touchdown. Only 2 catches for 2 yards. So better days ahead for Gene T. I would think he's a buy low. Cardinals Saints. Cardinals win 20-13. Big story here, I would say, is the Saints ran up tempo. Chris Olave was like in and out of the medical tent all day. Did end up with 13 targets for 7 catches, 54 yards. So that's pretty encouraging. Rattler, only 200 yards passing, no touchdowns. That's expected. Rashid Shaheed, 9 targets, turned it into 33 yards. Juwan Johnson played the most snaps out of the pass catchers, ran the most routes, got 11 targets. Could have won the game or could have tied it up for them. 8 catches for 76 yards. He got paid this offseason. Don't think, Juwan's not going to be like a week in, week out jam, but if they're playing up tempo, if this is happening, pretty good. Could definitely see this where Mostert's the guy if Gene T gets hurt, but I don't know. Mostert might be done too. Brandon Cooks ran a ton of routes. Not a lot of targets as expected. Kendre Miller, 11 snaps to Kamara's 59. 5 carries to Kamara's 11. Kind of surprising. He got pretty much half the carries despite being so low on snaps. And then, of course, Alvin Kamara had 36 routes run, which will keep him afloat in fantasy. Only 2 catches for 12 yards, though. So, the Saints, it was like, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. We need touchdowns, though, and half point. Cardinals, Kyler Murray, only 163 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, maybe because they were playing the Saints. The Benson and Connor split. Connor, 43 snaps to Benson's 22. 12 carries to 8. So pretty tight. They were tied in the carries almost, right? And Benson had a long run, so he had 8 carries for 69 yards. Connor, 12 for 39. So more carries, not efficient. It's not great for Connor. Connor running way more routes, though, so he's probably playing third downs. Connor did chip in 4 catches for 5 yards. Again, 4 catches for 5 yards. I would prefer Fannin over Juwan, clearly. Like, we've seen Juwan before, man. Come on now. And I prefer Joe Flacco to whatever Saints quarterback as targets, right? Trey McBride is a stud. No news there. Michael Wilson, second most in routes. Zay Jones, 20 routes. So, in best ball land, that will play. He'll have some long touchdowns, I'm sure. Greg Dortch didn't play that much. These ancillary tight ends got in there a little bit. But, yeah, it's pretty much Marv. It's Trey McBride. It's the running backs for the Cardinals. Steelers and Jets played a shootout where the Jets or the Steelers won 34-32. Steelers, Metcalf, obviously the lead league in routes run. Calvin Austin was banged up a lot of the offseason late, but 29 routes for him, 6 targets. Noteworthy here. Of course, this team ran a lot of 12 personnel, right? It was Metcalf. It was Austin. No one else was really out there. Ben Skoranek, 5 routes, turned it into a touchdown. Kind of crazy. Of course, Ben Skoranek did. Calvin Austin scored a touchdown. Jaylen Warren caught a touchdown. Ben Skowronek caught a touchdown. Jonnu Smith caught a touchdown. So Rodgers threw for 4 touchdowns, 244 yards. Yeah, I said this, man. Like, Rodgers, I don't think it's Jover for him. Tore his Achilles, not last year, but the year before. So last year, he wasn't good to start the year. Jonnu outsnaps Freiermuth. They tie in routes run, though. Jonnu gets 6 targets, kind of nice. Turns it into a touchdown. I think we need more info here. Freiermuth, 3 targets. Don't think it's over for him. Calvin Austin, a winner. Roman Wilson, barely playing. Allen Lazard was inactive for the Jets. I think Allen Lazard ends up on the Steelers at some point. The running backs is a big thing here. Caleb Johnson was a total 0. You guys know I was against Caleb Johnson all offseason. This should change, though. Like, it can't be this bad, right? Jaylen Warren played less than I thought. 25 snaps to Gainwell's 29. 11 carries to Gainwell's 7. Less routes than Gainwell. So I guess they like Gainwell's pass protection or something. 2 targets for Warren, 3 for Gainwell. Warren is saved. He was more efficient than Gainwell. 11 for 37 on the ground versus 7 for 19. And then he did go 2 for 22 in the air. So kind of low on the targets, but I think we need more info for this team. It's encouraging for any non-wide receiver that's only Metcalf and Austin out there. And then it's like, so the tight ends can get there. The running backs can get there. Darnell Washington was out there a lot blocking. Jets. Fields has a good day in fantasy thanks to him chipping in 48 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. Both were like at the goal line. So I do think Breece Hall could have had those touchdowns. No, I tweeted out this, but like, you hate the price, not the player. I had 0% Breece Hall at the 3-4 turn. I just like James Cook and co better. I ended up with 8% in Best Ball Mania because he fell to the 5th round, and I thought that was silly, right? Like, Braylon Allen, same thing. I was taking Braylon Allen when he was in the 190s. I was taking none when he was in the 120s. Breece Hall, big day, 19 carries, 107 yards. Braylon Allen, 6 carries, 9 yards. Like, he got the short yardage touchdown, but he might just not be good. They kind of tied in snaps. Breece way out carried Braylon, though. None of them ran routes, which is concerning. 8 routes for Breece, 3 for Braylon. So these running backs are not running routes at all, right? On that topic, it was 25 routes run for Garrett Wilson, 8 targets. So, yeah, I mean, look, Garrett Wilson had a good day in the box score, 7 catches, 95 yards, a touchdown, but he's a sell high, folks. Fields threw the ball 16 times. So, okay, yeah, Garrett Wilson had a 50% target here, but 220 passing yards. That is bad. This is like 25 routes. That is bad, folks. Justin Fields threw the ball 22 times. So is Garrett Wilson going to have some games just through there's no one else? Yes, but that's a sell high to me, and I'm happy to have very little. Josh Reynolds was out there doing nothing. Again, Lazard was inactive. Mason Taylor, the clear tight end to have here, probably going to be the second target eventually. Again, this running back route stuff is weird, man. 8 routes for Breece, 2 targets. So I legit don't know what was going on there. And then Fields, I mean, sure, if he's going to have a rushing touch, if he's going to have 2 rushing touchdowns, great, but he's not every week. They play the Bills this week, so we need some more information on Fields. He looked pretty good, though. Giants and Commanders. Commanders prevail 21-6. God, please. Can we get Jackson Dart here? For the Giants, it was Slayton, Neighbors, and Wandale, no surprise. It was Theo at tight end, no surprise. Cam Scatterbo is like actively trying to get CTE. He's a dog of a blitz pick-upper. He's a dog of a blocker. But 8 snaps for him, 3 routes run, 2 targets, 2 carries. Like, that will not pay the bills. Tracy was the clear RB1 in usage. 10 carries, 30 routes, 3 targets, 50 snaps. Singletary got in there a little bit. So maybe Cam's role grows, but it's bad right now. The Giants are just all bad unless Dart is good. Neighbors, 5 for 71. Wandale, 6 for 55. So kind of what we expected there. Slayton could have had a touchdown, but of course Russ misses him. We might even get Dart this week. Like, Russ is done. No surprise. Commanders, I think Jaden got banged up at the end of this. Big story here is Jakrowski Merritt, I would say. Only 23 snaps, only 10 carries, turned it into though 82 yards and a touchdown. And this is kind of what it's going to be. He's going to be very efficient in a Jaden Daniels rushing offense, and he should start playing more. Whatever his face is, Chris Rodriguez was a healthy scratch. He was inactive before this game, which is big. So they valued Jeremy McMichael's special teams role more. Eckler, not a great day. 6 for 26, 3 for 31 in the air. So, he'll be better in some other games and more shootouts. Ertz, the clear tight end here, 30 routes. Debo, 31 routes. Debo looked good. Is he going to hold up all season? We'll see, but he looked good. 7 for 77. Also scored a rushing touchdown for 20 yards. Terry McLaurin was just missed on a deep touchdown. This kind of happens with these holdout wide receivers, so things should be better for Terry. And then Noah Brown and Jalen Lane kind of shared the tight end or the wide receiver 3 role. Of course, not McCaffrey's brother, Luke McCaffrey. So looks like Noah Brown, slight edge, 21 routes, 3 targets to Lane's 12 and 2, but would expect the rookie to play more as the season goes. So Lane may be a sneaky hold in really deep leagues. Moving on, the Broncos survived a scare against the Titans. The Titans were not efficient on offense, and the Broncos almost lost. So the Broncos seem overrated to me. Cam Ward, only 112 passing yards. Broncos defense is very legit. He was rocketing balls off wide receivers' hands. They just couldn't hold it. Imanor, 7 targets, so better days ahead for him. Tyler Lockett, 26 routes, no targets. It's got to be better, right? Ridley, 8 targets, had some huge drops. No one a really good. Yeah, obviously no one had a good day when he throws for 112 yards. Chigakonkwo, the clear tight end to hold here. Gunnar Helm, though, did get in there a little bit, 23 snaps. Tony Pollard is the only running back until Spears comes healthy. If jury's a little out on Cam Ward, I think he looked good, but we got to see. We got to see better. Broncos, RJ Harvey had a long run, 6 carries, 70 yards. Hope he plays more. J.K. Dobbins, the clear RB1, though, 16 carries, 63 yards. No one really got too involved in the passing game for them, and they were playing Tyler Beatty. 11 routes for Beatty, 5 targets, 14 snaps. Harvey got 22. Dobbins got 40. 13 routes for Dobbins, 14 for Harvey, 11 for Beatty, 16 carries for Dobbins, 6 for Harvey. So Harvey should go up over time. Cortland Sutton, pretty much the only wide receiver you could start and manage. 43 routes for him, 9 targets. Played all the snaps pretty much. Troy Franklin was number 2 on the team. Marvin Mims was number 3. Trent Sherfield, who's a blocking wide receiver, was in there as well. And then Evan Ingram, I think he got hurt late, but he was getting out-snapped before that by Adam Troutman. I think the Joker role was a rug pull. Troutman, he's a blocking tight end. He's not a pass catcher. He never has been. Ingram did get 4 targets, but again, I think he got hurt. People can maybe remind me there. So, yeah, kind of a rough day. Encouraging for Harvey, though, that he looked good. And should be the Dobbins and Harvey show. I think they're both going to play. Niners, Seahawks. Niners survive a scare here. Weird game, man. Okay, so Kittle looks flat out awesome. Catches a touchdown. Hurts his hamstring. Thinks he's going to be out 3 to 5 weeks. Sucks. He was going to smash a high drafted player for me. Ricky Pearsall. Ricky Pearsall better be good because Juwan Jennings got hurt in this game. I think he's going to be okay. Kittle got hurt. So pretty soon it was Pearsall, it was Gage, it was MVS. I'll repeat that. Pearsall, Gage, MVS. That is bleak. Purdy also, I think, hurt his foot. He might not play this week, but is what it is. 35 routes for Pearsall, most on the team, most snaps on the team. Not all of the snaps, but most of them. Most targets after CMC. Jennings, again, I think he's going to be fine. But yeah, none of these other guys are holdable. Kendrick Bourne did sign to them. So Kendrick Bourne was with them before. He's been good in before. Luke Farrell. and Jake Tongas. These guys picked up the slack. I don't think Jake Tongas caught a pass before. He caught 3 in this game, including a touchdown. I think the go-ahead touchdown here for them to win 17-13. Kittle, man, please heal up. And then CMC, what hurt calf? He played all of the snaps pretty much, 58 snaps. Brian Robinson played 18. Garendo only played special teams. So we'll have to see, is he a 0? Is that just because of the shoulder? Kyle Juszczyk played a lot. He always does. He's a fullback, right? CMC, though, 22 carries, 10 targets, 29 routes, 9 catches, 73 yards, 22 carries, 69 yards. So brutally inefficient on the ground, like a lot of running backs this week. Awesome in the air. We'll have to see, can he keep this up? But, wheels up based on week 1. And managed, maybe you sell him late in the year. Maybe you sell him. In best ball, though, you just pray he stays healthy. And everything is terrible if Mac Jones is in there instead of Purdy. Best thing you can say about Mac Jones is he kept at least, BTJ and co. afloat last year. Yeah, I don't think I have a lot in Best Ball Mania, but the Rodgers, Calvin Austin, we got that in like drafters where arguably it's better. Seahawks. This was insane. JSN had 13 targets on 23 passing attempts from Sam Darnold. That's like 60% almost. I don't think that's sustainable, but obviously JSN is a wide receiver 1. I don't have a ton in best ball. We'll have to see what future weeks look like. It'll probably be like 30%. Yeah, Kittle on IR, that makes sense. Did that just come in? JSN and Cup, though, they played all the snaps. Torrey Horton, the clear 3 here. Pretty equal on routes on all of them. Cup, though, nothing doing in the box score, 2 for 15. I'm not ready to call him it over for him, but this was bad. AJ Barner was the clear tight end here in snaps. 44 to Arroyo 16. More equal in targets in routes, though, 19 to 10. No one really got used. And then the big one here is Zach Charbonnet outsnaps Walker, runs more routes, and gets more carries. Walker did end up getting more targets, only turned 3 targets, though, into 3 catches for 4 yards, a.k.a. bad. Charbonnet, 12, 47, and 1 on the ground, 4 yards a carry. Walker, 10 for 20. So hard to say here. I kind of think Charbonnet and Walker are just going to be this way for most of the year. This is why I drafted a lot of Charbonnet and was not into Ken Walker at the 3-4 turn. People lost their mind where we took James Cook over him with Ron and Jacob. What's also possible is that Walker was banged up in the preseason, and as the season goes on, he'll play more. But, Charbonnet's been too good to me to not play. So I think this is kind of here to stay. Kind of frustrating to manage. In best ball, they'll both have some weeks. Lions at Packers. Packers destroy the Lions 27-13. Game was not competitive at all. Jameson and Amon-Ra, the 2 wide receivers. Tesla, only 3 routes. Did catch a grown man touchdown. They did say he's going to play more. So, Cleve Raymond, you should go to 0. We should get more Tesla. Do think Tesla is like a pickup and manage. I don't think he'll be startable. Goff was kind of, he only had 8 incompletions, 225 yards, though, and a touchdown. That won't do it. Gibbs, much better usage compared to years past. Only 9 carries for 19 yards, inefficient, but did get 10 catches for 31 yards. Again, inefficient, but, 10 targets, 10 catches, that will pay the bills. Amon-Ra, a bad day in fantasy. Laporta, a good day in fantasy. He's obviously the 2. Jameson, nothing doing. Jameson will still probably be spike weeky. But, yeah, we need more info on the Lions. I think the Packers might just be a really, really good team. David Montgomery, also not a great day. Got 11 carries, but 25 yards. So we need to see the Lions against another team. Micah Parsons maybe screwed things up. Packers end, a disaster in manage. 17 routes for Dobbs, 13 for Golden, 9 for Wicks, 12 for Reed, 4 for Heath, 18 for Kraft. This is bad for manage. For best ball, it's fine. Reed catches a touchdown Obviously, I don't think he'll be 100% snaps this year with the foot. Golden is a rookie. He should play more as the year goes. Dobbs had 2 catches for 68 yards. Wicks 2 for 30. They're playing too many guys. No one's playing enough. They beat down the Lions. We need more info here. Jacobs, not a great day. He did score a touchdown, saving the day. 19 carries, 66 yards. Does seem like Chris Brooks is the RB2. I kind of got inklings of that late in the year. I do think Marshawn Lloyd, though, will be the RB2 once he's off IR. We need more info here. But, yeah, Golden, he's not startable and managed. Love, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. And we'll see, man. The Packers, they might be like NFC Super Bowl type of favorites with how good they looked. Texans, Rams. Rams eke out the win 14-9. Their defense looks awesome. Brutal day for Nico Collins. Only had 3 catches for 25 yards. Better days ahead. The O-line is bad, though. Xavier Hutchinson was second in routes. So they didn't trust the rookies. Higgins and Noel, 14 and 13 routes. Kirk did not play this game. Forget if Kirk's on IR, but he didn't play. I think he just hurt. Justin Watson was out there a lot. Dalton Schultz, Cade Stover. Like the whole team was disaster. Maybe Stroud is overrated. 188 yards passing, an interception. Nick Chubb was the clear RB1. 13 carries. Only 60 yards, though. No targets. That's not a good fantasy asset. Only 32 snaps. Ngubawale got 17. Pierce got 7. Marks got 7. Jacob Johnson, the fullback, got 7. So we need this to consolidate. I think later in the year, it's probably going to be Marks and someone. Maybe it's Chubb. Maybe it's Pierce. But right now it's bad. The rookie wide receivers should play more. But, yeah, we need to see the Texans against another defense. Everything was bad, though. The Rams then, Puka Nacua is God's gift to football. He went 10 for 130, 22 routes, 11 targets. That's insane, folks. Again, I'll repeat that. 22 routes, 11 targets. That's Puka. Devontae Adams, pretty good as well. 29 routes, 8 targets. Puka left the game several times because he was bleeding from his face. Whittington outsnaps Tutu. Tutu, though, does run more routes. Whittington looked kind of good. So they're kind of sharing the wide receiver 3 role-ish. I think the Whittington stuff, though, is probably he's the direct replacement to Puka or Adams. And then the tight ends all played a lot. Tyler Higbee, 21 routes, no targets, 35 snaps. I kind of liked Higbee in best ball. Parkinson played more. Allen played more. The rookie didn't play at all. So they ran a lot of 12 personnel. And then, Blake Corum, he got in there for 10 snaps. Kyron, though, stole the day. 50 snaps, 17 routes, only 1 target, 18 carries, did score a touchdown. So, yeah, better days ahead for the Rams. Against the Texans defense is good too. But, yeah, Puka Nacua could definitely be wide receiver 1. Game of the year, week 1, Bills-Ravens, where the Bills stick it to the haters. The Ravens lost this game because they didn't let Lamar cook, pretty much. Only 14 completions by him. Zay Flowers is a wide receiver 1 if he scores 8 touchdowns instead of 4. 9 targets for him. Turned it into 143 yards and a touchdown. Looked unguardable. Bateman and Hopkins, they're out there. They're better in best ball, guys. Andrews, brutal. Might be over for him. Might be Matt Milano. Hard to say. But 1 catch for 5 yards in a game that went 41-40. And the Ravens almost blocked that field goal. I don't know if you guys saw that, but Kyle Hamilton got a hand on the field goal. Didn't block it. Derrick Henry looks awesome week 1. We'll have to see. Obviously Derrick Henry, good at football, but Bills rush defense, not great. Their safeties were brutal. They got burned on angles multiple times. He did fumble late, helping them lose the game. And then again, Derrick Henry in September, that's not surprising. Let's see how the old man's doing late. Keaton Mitchell wasn't inactive. I don't think that will be the case the whole year. I think Keaton Mitchell will get active later in the season. Arguably, he should have been active in this game because his speed could have really given the Bills safeties fits. Justice Hill, though, sharing the snaps with Henry, more the same as last year. Way out route run into him, got more targets, got almost no carries though. So he's in there. Henry's not playing the full snaps. He's not going to play the passing downs. No surprise. Good news for Isaiah Likely for the Ravens. And then the Bills, my Bills. I mean, Josh Allen threw for 250 passing yards in the fourth quarter. How's that for an MVP? Ended the day with 400 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. Did score 2 rushing touchdowns. Again, I think in the games that are big, so against the Ravens, if it's a playoff game, I think we're going to see Allen running the football in close. Are they going to do that against the Saints? Are they going to do that against the Jets? Are they going to do that against the Patriots forever? Probably not. Keon Coleman looks like he could be a league winner. Obviously, he got a deflected touchdown catch, which is not sustainable, and the Bills are not going to run this many routes every game. But the defense might be bad. They do have like 2 guys hurt, 2 guys suspended, 11 targets for him, 8 for Shakir, 9 for Palmer. So there's room for all of them. Kincaid, he's never going to play all the snaps, but he looked good. He looked way more like his year 1 self. And so that should earn him more playing time. And he's going to be involved when they're passing it. 32 routes, 4 targets. Knox is more like a yard after catch guy. Jackson Hall's, he's a blocking tight end. He's an elite blocker, so he's going to be in there. Everyone scored touchdowns. Cook scored 1, could have had 3. Was tackled at the 1 twice pretty much. Keon, 8 for 112 and 1. A lot of people faded him. A lot of people did not believe in Keon. They laughed at Keon, what if he goes for 1,510? He's CeeDee Lamb's cousin. Keon understands the opportunity, man. He's playing with Josh Allen. He's a borderline first-round pick. It's year 2 for him. Could be a huge year loading. At worst, he's going to be a good best ball guy. Shakir, 6 for 64, so he looks healthy. Palmer, 5 for 61. He could have some big games for sure. Cook, 5 for 58. Shouldn't get that every game, but he looked good. Ravens, really tough team to run the football on, so that's why he didn't have a great day on the ground, like most running backs in the league, 13 for 44. What's encouraging, though, is Ray Davis looked bad as far as like running. Ty Johnson, he's like their P. Ryan. 27 routes for Cook, 13 carries, 5 targets. Should have been the highest scoring guy in fantasy, to be honest with you. So James Cook looking like an absolute smash. So bizarre to me that the nerds faded him. Young, fast, elite offense. Doesn't play all the snaps. Who cares, right? And that's what the Bills are going to do more than other teams. Kyle Shavers got in there. Elijah Moore got in there. Jackson Hawes got in there. Like Reggie Gilliam got in there. They do this, but we know who the ball is usually going to. Are they all going to be good every week? Of course not. Is there room for Keon this week, Shakir the next week? Yes, of course. Last game, Vikings-Bears. Started brutal for J.J. McCarthy. Ended up pretty fine. Bears should not have lost this game. McCarthy, only 143 passing yards, did throw 2 touchdowns, and he looks fast, man. 2 for 25. Jordan Mason looked good on the ground. He did end up out-snapping Aaron Jones. He did end up getting more carries. They ran similar routes, but of course, Jones got more targets. Jones was targeted down the field several times, so I think he's like the wide receiver 3 in the meantime. Thielen just got acquired, so these snaps should go up. Naylor, he's probably not that good. Hawkinson, kind of a bad day. We need more info on the Vikings still, other than Justin Jefferson. 4 for 44 for Jefferson. Bears, Caleb looked super fast. He had 6 carries for 58 yards. He scored a touchdown. He missed several guys. Like DJ Moore could have had a huge day. Only ended the day with 3 catches for 68 yards. Was missed on like 2 touchdowns pretty much. Rome Odunze caught a touchdown. 6 for 37. And then, yeah, I think the Bears are probably going to learn their lesson with like playing Zacchaeus so much, playing Kmet so much. Would expect the rookies, Burden, Loveland, to play more. Loveland, only 2 for 12 yards. Burden, 1 catch for -3 yards. Olamide Zacchaeus did have 4 for 42. So, I mean, maybe Zacchaeus holds him off, but Kmet was out there blocking a lot too. So would expect the Loveland stuff to go up over time, especially after they lost. Swift is the clear RB1. maybe Kyle Munungai holds on to RB2, or maybe it's Roshan. That one I don't know. But yeah, the Bears lost, and really they shouldn't have lost this game. So still think we need more info on the Bears as well. Phew. Yeah, I do think we're a little, that could be the thing with Loveland is like, oh, you're betting on Caleb Williams, but maybe Caleb gets it together. So we'll look at a little best ball before I get out of here. Got about like 10 minutes or so I can hang. And yeah, I think I'm advancing 89 eliminators. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89. Okay, I definitely miscounted. Control F. Oh, thank you guys. Good idea, community. All right, 89, as I said. Thank you, Riley. 89 eliminators, which, not, for those not hip, 75 is expectation. So 89 is not that much better than expectation, 9%. If Cook scored those 2 touchdowns, I'm going to guess I would be advancing well north of 100 teams because I have almost no Derrick Henry. I don't have a lot of Travis Etienne. I probably have more in the eliminator. If you guys remember, I did a stream where I drafted 13 teams at once. Looked like that was a good one for me. So that's fun. My advance rates in Best Ball Mania is a absolutely perfect 25 out of 150, which means exactly expectation. Obviously, that means nothing for week 1. Yeah, I mean, 89 feels nice, but for anyone who maxed the contest, like if I advanced 90 and you advanced 60, or if I advanced 90 and you advanced 120, it doesn't really matter, man. It doesn't matter. Obviously, more teams is better in every facet, but like it's a quality game, right? You're trying to get one team deep. So it's about the quality. Like, do you have a sick team is the question. Not how many teams are you getting through week 1. This team looks kind of fun. Fields, Young, Geno, Gene T, CMC, Kyron Cook, Metcalf, Olave, Golden, Shakir, Pittman, Hollywood, Wandale, retired Amari Cooper, Yoshivas, Njoku, Kasicki. Yeah, definitely think McCarthy's career is not over. 5 of 8, pretty nice. Really, but it's like week 9, week 10, but like then bye weeks play the factor. What does it mean to advance in BBM? It means you're the highest score, 2 of the highest scoring teams. 2 of 12 teams advance after total points weeks 1 through 14. So obviously week 1 advance rates are meaningless data. What you really, it's nice if your team is within like 20 points. Looking at the week as a whole, outside of like Josh Allen, Derrick Henry, Lamar, it was a very low scoring week. So that is kind of like good news for anyone who's like not crushing right now, because it's like, okay, like Keon Coleman dropped 21. That's a huge score. Jefferson's dropped 13. You might have 6 versus 13. Like no one dropped 40. That's what really shifts advance rates. So many of the wide receivers had bad weeks, right? Like the elite guys. So maybe it's like rake back. bonus for best ball season is my guess. How much Kittle do you have? Quite a bit for sure. 13%. You know, like, okay, that is bad for advancing, but it is nice for advancing a valuable low-end guy. Like, it's so clear that Kittle was going to smash. Any other questions you guys got? We can hang for a little bit. My BBM exposures, outside of Loveland, my top 6 guys all scored touchdowns, which is nice. Reed scored a touchdown. Aaron Jones scored a touchdown. This type of stuff's not going to happen every week, right? Grendo and Wright were zeros. Charbonnet scored a touchdown. Cup looked bad. Mooney didn't play. Nico had a bad game. Chase Brown scored a touchdown. Achane scored a touchdown. Kittle scored a touchdown, but not going to play. Panic meter on Tyreek, it's pretty high, man. It's definitely pretty high. Like, I have this league against Ian Hardage this week, and I'm legit thinking about benching either Tyreek or Metcalf straight up for Keon Coleman. Like, New England's secondary looked bad, but does Dart start soon? Like, absolutely he does. I think Tyreek to the Niners, Tyreek to the Chiefs, both are live. Both are live for sure. He was like freaking out on the sideline. Vibes are bad. Yep. I said this in the offseason that like chance was there for that. He also might not be good. Like, man, that I don't know, man. The Dolphins, dude. The Dolphins are brutal. Week 2. Looking ahead. Awesome Thursday night game. Commanders, Packers, Giants, Cowboys. I really think either of these teams could win. Oh, I got all my Survivor teams are live too, which like that's everyone is like that, right? Pretty much no one's dead at Survivor. One of these picks need to buy. Did 8 entries. They're all live. This would not be good. The Steelers are trading for everyone, though. Yeah, 3 to 5 was the timeline there, so it's not surprising. It's great for CMC in the short term. It might be bad for CMC staying healthy, though. Blind picking Ravens? No, you want to save the good teams, right? So you don't just want to optimize for winning. You want to optimize for game theory. And it's a division opponent, man. Like, I would not do that. So, for example, like a better team to pick to me would be like the Rams or the Niners, the Cardinals for some people. Like teams that you're like, oh, I think they're going to win, but you're not like the Chargers. Rusty, the Dolphins are looking at a very long rebuild. They have so few pieces to build around, man. Like it is disastrous for that franchise right now. And it's been since they made the playoffs. Like they went all in on that season. No, I mean, yeah, he could have. I mean, if Calvin Austin's out here having good games, he could have good games. Like looking at the big scores week 1, like, okay, I kind of think Keon's real. Quentin Johnston, I'm not sure. I don't really think that's sustainable. Like I think Keenan Allen's more sustainable than QJ. I don't really think Javonte is sustainable. Travis Etienne, jury is out there. Like I want to see the two-in work. Javonte was brutally inefficient, but so were like a ton of running backs. So like maybe that's a league-wide thing. I don't know. Yeah. But if Tyreek's out of there, it could be better. I mean, easy to say that when a guy scores 2 touchdowns, right? Like, would I sell Keon for Tyler Warren? I don't think so. Unless you really needed a tight end. Yeah, like people like look at my exposures and they're like, oh, you just drafted Bills because you're a Bills fan. Well, No, they were super cheap, man. Like, I promise you, if I was a Giants fan, you would not see like Wan'Dale Robinson and Darius Slayton as number one. I mean, both those guys are cheap. So what's a better team to use? You wouldn't see like DK Metcalf number one and like Caleb Johnson. These are players who score for a team that's going to score 30 points a week in a touchdown league, you know? Yeah, I kind of like the Rams. Picking on the Titans makes sense to me. Yeah, I just don't know if there's like, what are you saving the fab for, man? Every Panther might be brutal outside of Tet. All right, folks, that's what I got for the week 1 recap. If you could like the video, interact with a comment, hit a subscribe button, helps me out. Join the Discord, link is below. Might have a stream later again tonight, and we'll be back later this week. I think once we get like eliminator pods and everything, we'll be back. We'll take a look at that. We'll make my survivor picks, and we'll talk about maybe more of week 2, and we'll draft some teams for the upcoming week. Get in the Discord, folks. Peace out. Yeah, tell me your biggest best ball regret right now and your biggest win right now. Peace out.